beautiful Cintas Center on the campus of Xavier University in Cincinnati, where UConn women's basketball looks to remain undefeated in Big East play. The freshmen leading the pregame huddle. It's UConn and Xavier live on SNY next. Hi, everyone, from courtside with Megan Cuomo, Alan Bestwick. Maria Marino joins us again shortly from here in Cincinnati. So the Huskies play the second of this two-game road trip without Caroline Ducharme, still in concussion protocol. AZ Fudd here will not play tonight, and Gino Auriemma will miss a second consecutive game, not with the team here. But who is with the team here, and thankfully she rejoined the squad in Indianapolis Tuesday night, is Aubrey Griffin. What a return to action.
Wow, how incredible was she? Now, she missed all of last season, and the team obviously so thrilled that she's back after that back surgery last year. One of the most physically gifted athletes to ever play at UConn. She's so explosive. Offensively, defensively, she's everywhere on the floor. Every statistical category, she is better this year than she was her freshman and sophomore season. She does it all for this team, whether she needs to guard a guard or guard her forward. She is just a joy to watch.
And look at those numbers, the jump there after missing an entire season. Xavier comes in at 7-7, 500 on the season. Getting to that 500 mark has not been an easy road for the Musketeers.
Well, you know, we've talked about UConn and how they've had so many players out. It's the same thing here for Xavier. They've had illness after illness. Melanie Moore was telling us today they haven't had their whole team together for any long stretch. They've only got one kid who's played and started in every single game. So they're young and they got to work together, and she just wants them to battle.
Battle is the key word for Xavier tonight. Starting lineups presented by Subaru of New England. On the left, the five starters for the Huskies: Mule, Lopez, Seneschal, Griffin, Uhas, and Edwards. On the right, that only player who started and played in all four games, 15, Michaela Scarlett. She is the leading scorer, also the leading assist generator for Xavier, and she'll be the player to watch for the home squad. Associate head coach Chris Daly, 16-0 when filling in for Gino Auriemma, leading the Huskies. She'll be in charge of the UConn bench tonight. And we're ready to go. UConn in the road, National Flag Blues. Xavier in the home whites. Dorka Uhas to tip it off against Shelby Calhoun. And Uhas wins the tip. We're underway with this one. Edwards. Give to Griffin. She'll drive baseline, cut off. Back to Edwards. The nice floater from just beyond the free throw line. Great rebound by Mule. Fights her way out of traffic and takes a spill in the process, but a second chance here. Griffin, no. And a rebound to Scarlett for Xavier.
Looked like she got hit when she took that shot.
Xavier's style this year a little different than the past couple. They shoot a lot more threes from outside. They have been one of the tops in the Big East in made threes. Here's Scarlett driving, no. Rebound tipped away and chased down by Lopez Seneschal. Mule handles inside to Uhas, right through her hands.
Well, that's a tough pass, especially with the defense coming down from the top of the key. It had to be threaded like a needle, and it wasn't. Still a dangerous pass.
Taylor Smith, three. Grad student takes the floater, no. Good strong rebound by Nyla Blackford. She'll try and go up over Uhas, who blocks it.
UConn will look to push the ball on offense.
Lopez Seneschal for three, too strong. Griffin with an offensive board. Back inside to Uhas. And that is going to be a foul as she got caught on the cheek, it looks like. Our keys to the game presented by Nissan. For UConn, you see where they rank in all of those stats in the Big East. A lot of assists.
Yeah, share the ball, take good shots.
Foul was on Blackford, her first. Shot clock at 10. Lopez Seneschal for three, too strong. Griffin fights for the rebound, falls to the floor, and still manages to gather it up. That's effort.
Unbelievable effort.
And Edwards gets position, and the first points of the night go to the Huskies.
Well, Xavier doing a good job of taking away the interior. They're undersized, so you're going to see a lot of white jerseys down there around the UConn post players.
Leah Edwards just a force at Indianapolis on Tuesday night early in the ball game. Here is Smith. That shot short rather. Strong rebound, and it's knocked away from UHAS. They say UConn touched it last.
Yeah, it got knocked off of her leg. A heady play there by Xavier and Shelby Calhoun in particular.
Calhoun, the junior from Louisville, wears number 0. So Scarlett will inbound the ball. Here's Courtney Prenger looking for some space to work on UHAS. The kick. Long range shot for 3, around and out from Smith. Wow, how did Lopez Seneschal save that inbounds, but UHAS couldn't make the layup.
Yeah, those are the buckets that you got to make. Layup underneath the basket. Not good to start the game 1 for 7 from the floor.
Yeah, I was just going to say, let's just say shooting for both teams has not been the big thing at the beginning of this one. There's another missed one. Fight for the rebound. Tied up ball. And it'll stay with Xavier on the alternating possession arrow. So both teams in the game are a combined 1 for 13. That's not good, right?
No.
Just checking. Over 3 minutes played and 2 points. It's a steal of the inbound pass by Griffin. UConn has numbers. Lopez Seneschal feeds Griffin. She's fouled. Foul will be on Anaya Harris, her first.
Well, once again, UConn getting some offense from their defense. And Griffin so good out on the break. The nice pass from Lopez Seneschal.
So Aubrey Griffin at the free throw line. Made her return after missing the prior 2 games. Tuesday night at Butler, played 34 minutes, went 7 of 10 from the floor. 15.7 rebounds, plus a couple of blocks and a couple of steals. And makes the free throws there.
An impressive return to action,
How about
right?
that, right? We thought, you know, I mean, we wondered what would her durability be.
Right.
She was fine.
Sick. Yeah, oh, she was fine. Nice to be young.
Got lost on defense there, though, but the shot missed by Harris, and Griffin gets the rebound. Wow. Newell splits players, then runs herself into a trap. Good defensive retreat by Lopez Seneschal, but a nice put in by Prenger to get Xavier on the board.
Going to run the floor by Prenger and get herself open.
So a 2-point UConn lead, kind of a slow start early in this one. Lopez Seneschal with a 3. That doesn't go. Rebound to Edwards. Another chance for UConn.
Speaking of Edwards, has she taken a shot?
Yes, got the first bucket.
There you go.
The one from just outside the
fact that I had to ask the question is a problem.
Yeah. Calhoun feeds wide. That's Scarlett from the corner. That shot well short. Huskies run. Griffin was ahead of the field, but Blackford retreated nicely and knocked it out of bounds. Aaliyah Edwards, last 6 games for UConn have been just phenomenal. A+++.
Yeah, and that's why I brought that up before. They've got to get her the ball. Look to her on the offensive end. Xavier is undersized. Yeah, they're going to look to double and triple, but you got to get her. You got to get her the ball.
Lopez Seneschal gets the ball on the inbound play. UConn with 20 seconds to shoot. And a giveaway pass.
Well, Lopez Seneschal picked up her dribble and she was dead.
Long range shot from Woods. No. Long rebound to Griffin, who'll try to run. Bad pass from Newell. She wanted Lopez Seneschal to stop. And so that is the 5th turnover in less than 5 minutes of play for UConn. You have a bewildered look on your face, Meg.
It's hard to believe what I'm seeing. I hope Gino Auriemma is not watching this game. He would feel more unwell.
Yeah. Good steal by Griffin. And lost control. That'll be out of bounds. It just touched Michaela Scarlett for Xavier, and it'll be UConn's basketball after the media timeout as we're midway through quarter number 1. 6 points, 5 minutes played. Halfway through quarter number 1 here in Cincinnati. It is a 2-point ball game, 4-2. Not that there haven't been a lot of shots taken, enough to make the score a lot higher than that, but the teams are combined 2 for 19 from the floor so far. Maria Marino has more on this UConn squad facing another night of adversity.
That's right, Alan. When it comes to Gino Auriemma being away from the team, Chris Daly tells me the response is twofold. Fortunately or unfortunately, however you look at it, they have experience. They've been through this before, but also everyone in the program is doing their part to make things run smoothly. She said what you don't want to do is have the players feel alarmed or uncomfortable in any way, and she doesn't think they do because every person in their travel party helps them be a fine-tuned machine.
Well, they've certainly faced enough situations this season to be comfortable with it.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if comfortable would be the word that they would want to use, but well, absolutely.
Aubrey Griffin somehow saves that. Wow, here's Mule. Lopez Seneschal cut off.
What a smart cut there by Juhas. Terrific pass from Edwards.
Guys, I just wanted to chime in once again because I asked Nika Mule if she ever reaches out to coach or if she wants to give him space, and she said a little bit of both. She knows he appreciates a text and she'll do that once in a while, but she was like, I know him and he needs his space away from me. And laughing, she said, who doesn't?
That's fun. Nice steal there by Dorka Juhas and resulted in Aubrey Griffin getting fouled, so Griffin will go to the free throw line again.
So yeah, Chris Daly's club tonight, they're just going to have to grind it out. Play good defense, take better shots, get the right people shooting the ball. You know, let's get Aaliyah Edwards the ball down low.
Well, a team that shoots 52% from the floor is not going to continue on a track of 2 for 11, right?
You would think not.
You would think not. So Griffin with free throws, and a 6-point UConn ball game. Scarlett defended by Mule.
Nice switch there with Juhas and Mule.
Juhas with great footwork to follow all the way to the rim and get the block. Griffin runs, blocked at the other end. Edwards will get a rebound and will get a foul. Nice hustle on the block by Taylor Smith. The transfer from Ole Miss for Xavier.
A heck of a block there by Smith. I think Griffin thought she was fouled. Nice pass. And she got the ball. That was a heck of a play. Good hustle by Edwards to not give up on the play.
Lopez Seneschal on the inbound play gets the 2.
She had been cold. She won't stay cold for long.
And she was 0 for 4 up to that shot. Now 1 of 5. And on the scoreboard for UConn, 10-2 the Huskies. Been about 2.5 minutes since the Musketeers have seen the ball go through the basket. There's Harris driving to pull up. No. Mule fights for the rebound. Tries to dump it to Juhas.
Yeah, a little too fast. Not a bad idea. Just got to get it up in the air.
And Edwards with the block at the other end on Smith.
At the pace of this game, both teams running it up the floor.
Kicked in the afterburners.
Yeah, nice pursuit there by Aaliyah Edwards.
25 on the shot clock for Xavier as they inbound. Here's Smith from long range. No. Fight for the rebound underneath. Going to be a foul called, and that is going to be on... Is that a foul on Xavier or just an out of bounds? Out of bounds, okay. UConn basketball. Let me rephrase. I think Blackford thought she should have gotten a foul call.
She wouldn't be the first player to think that.
Yeah. UConn on a 6-0 run over the last minute and a half. There's Edwards to a nice curling Griffin for 2.
Terrific execution. They worked on that at shoot-around today.
Aubrey Griffin leading scorer in the ballgame with 6 of UConn's 12 points. Long-range three, Michaela Scarlett on the board for Xavier.
They shoot a lot of threes. Okay.
Fourth in the Big East in three-point field goal percentage are the Musketeers. And that broke a long drought for Xavier. So here is Aaliyah Edwards looking for somebody. It's going to be Aubrey Griffin, double teamed, tried to kick it out, but Ayanna Patterson into the ball game for UConn was cutting to the hoop.
Now look at the screen that Aaliyah Edwards is setting. Lopez Seneschal comes off, it curls nicely. And then look at that, beautiful cut off the ball by Aubrey Griffin. Terrific pass from Edwards.
Ines Betancourt into the ball game for UConn. That shot rattles around and out, and a rebound for Aaliyah Edwards. So Betancourt handling the ball with Griffin, Edwards. And a three there for Griffin. Lopez Seneschal on the floor, as well as Ayanna Patterson, the 5 for UConn. Aubrey Griffin doing it all tonight for UConn. She's got their only made 3, and she's got 9 points.
Well, she only made 1 3 her freshman year.
And it's going to be a foul on Patterson. A little push in the back.
The UConn foul is number 34.
Is the first for Patterson, and again tonight, as they did Tuesday night in Indianapolis, the 2 freshmen, Patterson and Betancourt, getting into the game early for UConn.
Chris Daly working the official. Got something to say.
Part of the job.
Yeah. We haven't seen Gino talk a lot to the refs this year.
Nice anticipation by Aaliyah Edwards, the save, and she goes spilling into the grandstands over the top of the seats while the UConn team turns the ball over at the other end of the court. Edwards is just getting up and coming back onto the floor. Watch this.
Outstanding effort. Wow. How about she picked the 2 seats that were empty? Lucky for those people.
The most empty tray of nachos still had some debris in it, and that got spilled. There's Scarlett to the rim and missed the shot. Those chairs might have been broken, by the way. They've just been retired from the ball game. So, thankfully, Aaliyah Edwards still in the ball game for UConn, though the chairs are removed. Here's Patterson. Inside of a minute to go in this opening quarter here in Cincinnati. Patterson sets the screen. Lopez Seneschal. Edwards will drive. Between players, draws the foul.
Smart decision. She could have taken the 15-footer, but instead, see, look, she was open. Defense lunging at her. She's just... The when to and when not to, it can be tough for kids as they get into college, freshman, sophomore year. She's really perfected when to and when not to.
Part of that growth from freshman and sophomore to junior for Aaliyah Edwards. One of only 2 players to have started every game this season for UConn. And makes the free throws for the Huskies. 41 seconds to go in this opening quarter. UConn has opened up now a lead of a dozen on a 13-3 run after a very slow start to this ball game, where the teams went a combined 2 for 19 from the floor. There's Woods, no.
Outstanding defense by Edwards.
And Betancourt is going to be...
So not only is her footwork outstanding, Aaliyah Edwards, look at the left hand outstretched, because she knows the kid is right-handed, is going to shoot the ball with the right hand, left hand to block.
It's a second block for Aaliyah Edwards in the ballgame. So the foul was on Shelby Calhoun, and Ines Betancourt will go to the free throw line for UConn, the freshman, who, of course, probably played her most important minutes in her brief Husky career in that closing minutes of that game against Princeton, where the Huskies were fighting for the win and had to make some key free throws to seal the victory in that game. 15 to go in the quarter. Kayla Scarlett will handle the ball. Xavier sets their play.
Good communication defensively.
That pass deflected. A desperation shot after gathering the handle by Taylor Smith does not go. And the first quarter will end on a UConn 7-0 run over the final minute and 42. Huskies by 14 after 1. After a slow start, UConn got it rolling late in the first quarter and will start the second with a 19-5 advantage over Xavier. Xavier has been a while since they've managed to beat a ranked team. It goes all the way back to 2010 for the Musketeers. Colmo's Court Vision brought to you by Yale New Haven Health.
This is an interesting angle of the under out of bounds play. UConn has been pretty successful. Look right here. You got Lopez Seneschal ready, and then the big screen set here. But you got to watch the way the kid defends it. You can't go that far behind the screen. You see her here. You got to get out faster against Lopez Seneschal. She's too good a shooter. She's too dangerous a scorer to give her that much room.
Lopez Seneschal a little slow starting the game, but eventually got on the board and got it going for UConn. Aubrey Griffin leads all scorers in the game. She has 9 points, 4 of them from the free throw line, taking the ball aggressively to the rim. Certainly something that the Huskies have done a lot of in that first 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, again, remember, Xavier is undersized, and UConn should use their strengths and maximize them. Get the ball in the low post.
Patterson draws the double team. Double team disappears. She pulls back. Juhas takes the miss, muscles her way to get the ball up and in. Juhas, Patterson, Mule, Griffin, and Betancourt, the 5 on the floor for UConn to start this second quarter.
A more aggressive play there by Juhas. She had lacked some of that aggression the first couple minutes.
Scarlett, Prenger, Smith, Harris, and Blackford, the 5 for Xavier. Shot missed, got her own rebound for Nyla Blackford. She'll put it up and in. Nyla Blackford, the senior from Louisville, Kentucky, and that is her 1,000th career point with that bucket.
And she'll remember it. She worked for it.
Yes, she did. And she'll get contact on Juhas and draw the foul. So Blackford, who is a grad transfer, played 3 seasons at Kent State. I checked that. She's a senior. Played 3 seasons at Kent State, then hit the transfer portal and came here. And missed the first month of the season. And again, just into that 1,000-point club and goes to the bench for recognition by her team. Mule. That's a 3. Nika Mule from outside.
Important for Mule to knock down that 3. She had made some careless errors that I know she would like to correct.
Quick shot at the other end by Prenger. That's going to go out of bounds off UConn. And be Xavier's ball.
You know, we talked about the out-of-bounds play. Well, if there's no one guarding the inbounder, smart play to get the ball right back to her. Just step in, get yourself open, and knock down the open shot.
Patterson almost stole the inbound pass. Here's Smith. Harris, no, too strong. Prenger with the rebound. That's too strong also. And Patterson with the board for the Huskies. There are the 5 on the floor. Juhas with the left hand.
Perfect pass from Mule. And she was trying to tell the ref. She was asking the ref to stop so she could fix her ponytail. I'm sorry, Nika. I don't think that's part of the game.
Aubrey Griffin gets called for that foul.
Look at that pass.
Yeah.
I mean, you knew it was coming. But she passed it away from the defense. So all Juhas had to do was catch, turn, and score.
And
and they waited for her after all with her hair.
The ponytail adjusted. And Lopez Seneschal will come back into the ballgame, replacing Griffin, and Aaliyah Edwards back into the ballgame as well.
I tell you, Chris Daly really rotates a lot of bodies in and out.
Betancourt almost had the steal.
Much more liberal with her substitution pattern than Gino Oriema is.
7, 6 to shoot. Scarlett cut off by Betancourt. Now Juhas out there. The shot over the top of Juhas. No, long rebound, Betancourt. Huskies run with numbers. Here's Mule. She'll back it up. Juhas working under the glass and got it. Dorka Juhas, 6 points. Make that 8 points all of a sudden.
Better poise on offense for UConn. Not so much playing like their hair's on fire.
I was just thinking that when Mule put on the brakes and didn't get called for the travel also. A controlled stop, if you will. Inside, here's Megan Harkey. Her first touch. Kicks out to Harris. No. Juhas, good effort to get that rebound. Another 7-0 run to start the quarter for UConn. That shot won't go from Juhas from outside. Here's Smith. She'll put up a 3. That goes. Taylor Smith from outside. Second made 3 for Xavier. And they're into double figures in scoring. But trail by 18. Lopez Seneschal off the Edwards screen. Got it. That's a 2.
She is so good at putting the ball on the floor, using the screen. Lopez Seneschal is just a scorer.
And Melanie Moore did not like what she saw there and has called a timeout for Xavier. Huskies by 20. 20-point Husky lead here as we approach midway through this second quarter. Talked about at the top of our broadcast, Meg, you highlighted the efforts of Aubrey Griffin and how spectacular she's been. She's doing it again tonight.
Well, and you know, she's so difficult to stop. A tremendous rebounder, great instincts, incredible athleticism, and she's become a much better player off the ball this year. And the three-point shooting, my goodness, she had 1 3 her freshman year, 3 threes her sophomore year. She redshirted last year. She had 7 coming into the game tonight. So this kid has just continued to get better and better, and they're just so happy that she is back and healthy.
Remember, nearly 600 days between games for UConn, for Aubrey Griffin, because of the injury, the back surgery, the recovery. But her redshirt junior campaign has been a solid one and a much-needed one for UConn thus far. So Xavier ball trailing by 20 after their timeout. 24, Janae Ruiz-Asqui into the ball game for Xavier. She has the ball. Ovalle feeds inside to Asqui. Shot clock running out. UConn defense will force a long heaved 3 that will catch rim after the backboard. It almost went in. Look at Griffin, strong to the hoop. The bucket and the foul.
Got that take. Wow. With a purpose, with confidence. She stayed on her feet.
And the quickness to beat the defender to the spot where Harkey for Xavier had no chance to gain legal guarding position because of the fast footwork from Aubrey Griffin. Couldn't add the free throw, but Juhas got the rebound. Lopez Seneschal will make it a 3. What a killer possession if you're Xavier.
Well, yeah, I mean, you give up the rebound on the free throw, and then you give up a 3. It's a 5-point possession.
Huskies on another 7-0 run. Blackford got her own miss. Juhas was there, went straight up, and altered the attempt. Lopez Seneschal. Mule and Juhas with her hand in the air saying, feed me the ball. Nice pass, nice bucket. Dorka Juhas into double figures, 10 points, 5 of 8 shooting. She's got 8 rebounds already, nearing a double-double, and we're only halfway through the second quarter. Ovalle puts it up. No. Ball is loose. Still loose. And that'll be Xavier's ball. Nika Mule backed off thinking it went off of a Xavier player.
Well, I don't think that there is a correlation to Dorka Juhas. Lucky she didn't get called for a foul there. But, UConn struggled to start the game, and Juhas wasn't at her best. There's a distinct tie to how well UConn has played in the last, 5, 6, 7 minutes because of Juhas, how she has stepped up her game.
Absolutely. Officials huddled together and changed that call, so it's UConn ball. Much to the dismay of Mel Moore, the Xavier coach. Blackford saw the pass coming in on the attempt to get it to Edwards, and it will be knocked away. And it will be Xavier's ball.
Mel Moore, one of the most positive, optimistic people to be around.
And they overturn that call. It will be UConn's basketball again.
We're going to test her positivity right now.
As that exchange between officials was happening right in front of her. Moore in her 4th season as the head of the Xavier program. We have discussions over the scores table. It'll be a 20-second shot clock they'll put up.
It's at 21.
21.
Guess it was 20-ish.
Yeah. It's worth it. Griffin drives again, cut off this time.
Terrific decision, well defended, but good decision to not charge.
Mule for 3, back iron, Aubrey Griffin in for the rebound. It goes to Juhas, who gets fouled on the way to the rim. What an effort.
I mean, the effort again by Aubrey Griffin, incredible. You see her coming in from the top of the picture there, kept it alive, got it to Juhas, who clapped her hands. She wished she had made that. She wants to be going for 3 here.
So the foul on Keisha Woods for Xavier, and here is Juhas shooting free throws.
The crowd aptly chanting air ball, and they get
I'm
to do
speechless
that.
at that. I don't know. I get paid to have words, and I'm speechless at it.
At least she redeemed herself on the second one.
Yes, I'm sure she's happy about that too. And here's Amari DeBerry checking into the ball game for Aaliyah Edwards. So that's all 8 available players tonight for UConn into the ball game, with still over 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. Calhoun will cut to the rim and get a nice feed and a bucket for Xavier. Shelby Calhoun, the junior from Louisville. DeBerry throws a pass right into the hands of Blackford for Xavier. Blackford again, guarded by DeBerry. 6'5" DeBerry will have the hands leaning forward, the arms, and contact the arm and
all
get
she
called.
has to do is keep her arms straight up in the air. Don't bring them down. Don't break that plane. The foul typically won't be called. I say typically because you never know.
Here's A.Z. Fudd on the UConn bench. Did a little more than in the past few pre-games at morning shoot-around, but still not medically cleared to play or hasn't completed that process, so we will not see her tonight.
But it's good to see her in a uniform going through the warm-ups.
And definitely getting closer to a return to game competition for the Huskies, and that will be much welcomed by this entire program. So Blackford, no. Rebound is going to be tied up, and it's going to be Xavier's ball as Shelby Calhoun got in there and wrestled with it with Dorka Juhas. So 3:39 to go in this second quarter. A ball game that started very slowly for UConn has picked up considerable pace offensively since. Near side shot from Woods doesn't go. Another rebound for Juhas. I think that might put her into a double-double. Check that in a second. Gonna get the ball in the paint.
And Mel Moore is calling for a walk on Griffin. I thought she did a terrific job with the jump stop to avoid that travel. It was a savvy play by Griffin because she saw the defender ahead. Watch this. She catches it, jump stops. And then walked.
Okay. That was a Xavier foul on Xavier Woods, much to the dismay of those seated behind us at Cintas Center. Into Uhas. Nice feed, nice bucket. So yes, double-double already for Dorka Uhas. 11 boards, 13 points. That'll be a kicked ball off of Uhas's foot.
Well, there's just no way in the post. Xavier Woods is 6 foot. She's listed at 6 foot. I don't think she's quite 6 foot, but Uhas towers over her.
6'5", Dorka Uhas. Here's Michaela Scarlett, guarded by Nika Mule. 9 to shoot, 8. Going to call a foul coming through traffic. That's going to be on Mule. And that will be her first foul of the ball game. Coming up, Gary Apple and Kara Walters will have all the first half highlights and analysis. Our UConn women's basketball halftime show is presented by Dunkin'. 2:45 of game action to go before we hear from Gary and Kara. So Shelby Calhoun, who played her freshman season at Virginia Tech, now in her second season at Xavier. Shooting free throws here for the Musketeers. And DeBerry with the rebound on the second shot miss. Mule calls the signals. And the UConn half-court offense goes in motion. Lopez Seneschal now with the screen from Uhas. Dorka wide open at the free throw line. Finds DeBerry inside. Over the top. Too strong.
Nice quick little jump hook with the left hand.
That's a long shot that missed from Asqui. Griffin running the baseline. Oh, hard foul. Down on the court under the bucket, but immediately look it up.
Man, she went down hard.
That was the basketball version of a belly flop right there. And they don't feel good on water, let alone on hardwood.
Oh my gosh.
So the foul goes to Louise Asqui. And Griffin will go to the free throw line, looking to add on to her 11 points. She's 4 of 5 from the free throw stripe in the ball game so far. Lopez Seneschal to the bench. And Ines Betancourt back in for UConn. A couple of more for Griffin. So 13 points to go with 5 boards for Griffin, who has been so aggressive, taking the ball straight to the rim. Had the defensive position there. So Ovalle had to unload the ball, now gets it back, cut off by Uhas. That'll be tipped out of bounds by Betancourt. Ayanna Patterson back into the ball game for Dorka Uhas. And Uhas, wow, 13 and 12. And the 4 blocks. 40th career double-double for Dorka Uhas.
In the first half.
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive.
Scarlett with a nice move to get away from Mule, but missed the shot. Patterson gets air to get the rebound and then gets fouled. Ayanna Patterson playing at home in Indiana the other night against Butler. And one of the things I found to be a step forward in her game the other night was how aggressive she was taking the ball to the rim. She shot 9 free throws at Butler, and the entire rest of the team combined shot 6.
Yeah, and that replay just showed her getting in great position and then just going and grabbing the ball.
So Patterson will step to the free throw stripe and look to get her first points of the night. Had 9 points in 15 minutes Tuesday at Butler, her second highest total of the season. And gets 1 of 2 there to get on the board. Minute and a half to go. Butler Xavier, this is Thursday, 1 for their last 8 from the field.
UConn's defense has really stepped up, made it difficult for Xavier to run their offense. They are forcing a turnover.
That will be the 13th. No, check that. That is just the 5th Butler turnover against 10 for UConn in the ballgame. Patterson inbounds the ball here. Who do you want to see Patterson elevate her game as we get to the second half of her freshman season?
You know, just be aggressive, make plays that she can play. Don't try to do anything outside of herself. She's talented. Let the game come to her.
Drew a triple team there. Betancourt kicks to Griffin. She drives, stops. One big step, gets free for a bucket.
Again, the when-to. Really good decision there by Griffin to pull up and then step through past the defender.
Inside the final minute of this second quarter. And that was a double bouncer off the home rim for Taylor Smith.
Finally got the home roll.
Xavier in this first half, only 5 for 36 from the floor. That is 13.9%. They've been held to 14% from beyond the arc. 2 of 14 for the Musketeers. Just a little less than 2 seconds between the shot and game clock. So UConn running some clock here. They'll get the ball, or attempt to get the ball inside to Griffin, and she'll get fouled by Scarlett.
So how about this? The pump fake, the up, and then the under, and the big step. Just playing with such confidence right now. Such a versatile player.
Well, if we had to pick a star of the game so far, it would be Aubrey Griffin, I would think, although Dorka Juhas would be right there.
2 of them both playing outstanding basketball. It was a slow start for UConn, but they have turned it up.
Remember when the teams were a combined 2 for 19 at the early moments of the ball game, and it looked like there was a lid on both rims? UConn has knocked that rim cover solidly off. Patterson will get called for her second foul.
The Huskies foul is number 34.
So that'll be 2 on the freshman, who in this opening 20 minutes of play has been on the floor for better than 7. Ines Betancourt has gotten 8 minutes of play. Amari DeBerry 4+ in the opening half. And Michaela Scarlett at the free throw stripe for Xavier, the junior from the Bronx, New York, team leader in scoring, assists, steals. And she does get to the free throw stripe a lot. 5th in the Big East in free throw attempts this year. Well, that is Xavier's lowest scoring first half of the season. Just 16 points. 5 in the first quarter, 11 in the second for the Musketeers. UConn, after the slow start from the floor, gets it going, shooting 52% in the first half. And at the end of 2 quarters, it's UConn 47 and Xavier 16.
CD, you set with that headset?
Yeah, really.
Well, listen, unbelievable defensive effort. I know didn't start the game great as a team, but by God, you guys really turned it on and turned it up and held them.
Well, I thought we actually got good shots. We just missed a lot of layups and some open shots by Lou, but I thought our effort on the defensive end, as you mentioned, was terrific right from the start. It's a physical game, and we have to be more physical than they are. We gave them a couple of second chance points on the backboard, but it's physical, and we have to handle that.
How about the play of Aubrey Griffin and Dorka Juhas, both with outstanding efforts there?
Well, they both kept, Aubrey especially kept the ball alive in that first, few minutes when we kept missing. We got second and third opportunities because of Aubrey, just her aggressiveness.
All right, thanks, Cindy. Good luck second half.
Thank you.
Our interview with Associate Head Coach Chris Daly, presented by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers. Gary and Kara coming up with the halftime show. Kara's going to love this. Lots to talk about from the big guys like Aubrey Griffin and Dorka Juhas. Teams back on the floor to start the third quarter here at Cintas Center in Cincinnati. Huskies leading the Xavier Musketeers 47-16. Breaking news as we rejoin you for this third quarter. Aaliyah Edwards will not play in the second half of this game for the Huskies. She has an injury to her right foot. And the player who's been so incredibly good for the Huskies over this stretch of season, not available for this second half. And with that, we say hello again from courtside with Megan Cuomo. I'm Alan Bestwick. Maria Marino back with us in just a minute. So one big not available for the Huskies. The other two bigs in this game, Aubrey Griffin and Dorka Juhas, have been so good for UConn.
Well, they both have been, and Dorka Juhas got a double-double in that first half. She started a little slow, but I'll tell you what, on the defensive end, she had 4 blocks in that first half. Lucky she didn't get called for a foul there. Really good use of her body. Read the floor really well. Terrific use. Look at this. Got to the space that she wanted. Did the work before the ball came in. Good finish. 13 points, 12 rebounds, 4 blocks.
That's a pretty good stat line for some games, let alone a half.
Exactly.
So we start the second half with Aaliyah Edwards on the bench, seated next to AZ Flood. They stopped the game because the shot clock did not begin when the game clock began. Run 3 seconds off the game clock, and now they'll reset the shot clock down to 27. So it's Nika Mule, Lou Lopez-Seneschal, Dorka Juhas, Ayanna Patterson, and Aubrey Griffin, the 5 on the floor for the Huskies to start the third. They get it into Patterson, draws a double team, draws a triple team, has the shot blocked.
Really good defense there by Xavier.
Taylor Scarlett cut off by Aubrey Griffin. They'll feed it out to Prenger. That shot is short. Crashing the boards was Calhoun, but Griffin managed to take it in. Lopez-Seneschal sets the feed and drains a 3 to start her third quarter account for UConn. Lopez-Seneschal in double figures now. 10 points, 4 of 8, 2 of 5 from outside. Far corner 3-ball attempts. No good from Scarlett. There's a Xavier player down behind the action. Lopez-Seneschal strong on the 3. Rebound goes to Smith. It was Courtney Prenger who was down. She has rejoined play. Not sure if Scarlett was attempting to pass that.
She was. She ended up passing it to herself.
So Taylor Smith pulls up, no, and Dorka Juhas gets the rebound.
Strong rebound by Juhas.
34-point lead for the Huskies. This is their largest lead of the ball game. Griffin drives and will draw contact and a foul. So just want to take you back to earlier in the ball game during the first half when Aaliyah Edwards made a super hustle effort to try and get a loose ball.
We don't know if this had anything to do with why she hurt her right foot.
Took that tumble through a couple of chairs and a partially eaten bin of nachos, and will not play the rest of this ball game. So a concerning moment for UConn in this one. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, I'm borrowing Gino's line and I'm cleaning it up a little bit, but you can't make this stuff up.
You can. It's inconceivable what this team has been through, and yet they just keep soldiering on.
Yeah. Aubrey Griffin again, good from the free throw stripe. She's got 19 points now and has made 10 of 11 from the line. I'll double check, but that has to be a season high free throws for any UConn player. 11 free throws. I know Patterson had 9 the other night. Here's a ball inbound to Blackford. She gets around Patterson and gets a bucket.
Smart play by Blackford. And wise of Patterson to not commit the foul.
Lopez-Seneschal sees an opening, loses the handle, but it goes off a Xavier player and out of bounds. UConn basketball. So into the ball game for Xavier, number 10. And a good story, Fernanda Ovalle, the first player ever from Chile to play Division I college basketball. She's guarding Aubrey Griffin right now as that ball goes out of bounds and will be turned over.
Nika's like, wait a minute. Nika, you just inbounded that ball to yourself. That is illegal.
Yeah. 11th turnover by the Huskies tonight. There's an air ball that will miss everything from Smith. So another look at the collision of Aaliyah Edwards and the chairs on the sidelines. There's that right foot. And
looks like a little limp favoring the right side. Again, we don't know.
And it's going to be an Ayanna Patterson offensive foul to turn the ball over there to Xavier on that possession while we were watching the replay of the Edwards spill. So that'll certainly be, no matter the margin of victory, one of the big headlines of the night for UConn from this trip to Cincinnati. Nice fake.
And there's an example of where the Aaliyah Edwards on that back line perhaps would have been there.
Taylor Smith with the good move to the bucket for Xavier. There's Uhas. Through two players, bucket and foul.
Outstanding poise in that. Look at her working for it. She looked over that right shoulder, knew the defense was there, spun back hard to the left. Even the double team wasn't going to stop her.
Now, Dorky Uhas has been a force tonight for UConn. Listen to this efficiency. 7 of 10 from the floor. She's only taken one shot from long range. 13 rebounds. We mentioned the 4 blocks. And now at the free throw stripe for a third attempt from there.
Playing her best basketball. She knows it's her last year, and there's something about the urgency you feel, and you just want every minute to count. She's having an outstanding year so far.
Here guarding Ovalle. Amari DeBerry into the ball game for Ayanna Patterson for UConn. Taylor Smith dribbling around. Prenger now Smith, 10 to shoot. Tries to work off the Prenger screen over the top of Griffin. No. Loose ball. And it is recovered by Griffin for UConn. She'll slow it down as Xavier had numbers on the defensive retreat. DeBerry. Mule tried to get it through to Griffin, and it went between players and out of bounds. You can watch live UConn women's basketball games, pre- and post-game shows, and all SNY programming anytime, anywhere, on any device with the SNY app. Scan the code on your screen and download it now if you don't have it already. UConn by 35 here as we approach the midway point of this third quarter. Huskies looking to remain unbeaten in Big East play. Here's Michaela Scarlett, who has been held pretty well in check by UConn's defense all night tonight. They're going to call Lopez Seneschal for the foul. That's going to be her first in the ballgame.
Xavier will inbound on the baseline.
Xavier to inbound the ball. Show you how aggressive UConn's been taking the ball to the rim. Huskies have shot 20 free throws tonight.
Wow.
Xavier has shot 6. And there's almost a steal from Griffin. Out of bounds off Aubrey.
Griffin was trying to plead her case, and it went off of a Xavier player.
Ovalle, who will inbound the ball. I mentioned again a minute ago, first player from Chile to play Division I college basketball.
Incredible.
How remarkable is that? Has the ball here, guarded by Lopez Seneschal. She'll drive as the shot clock runs low, turned over. Griffin couldn't get it to go, had trouble getting possession of the ball. Fight on the floor. Ooh, bodies flying everywhere. And that should be a foul on DeBerry. And will. That'll be her second, I believe.
And she, she was just hustling for the ball. It's an unfortunate, understandable, but unfortunate. And she's going to play a lot of minutes, perhaps the most of this season, with what happened to Aaliyah Edwards with that right foot injury.
Yeah, played a career-high 26 minutes in the win over Princeton back at Gamble Pavilion. Defending Prenger here. Prenger tries to spin back the other way. Good position from DeBerry. Outside, Scarlett, no. And another rebound for UConn. 43-14, UConn out-rebounding Xavier and Nika Mule. And one of the officials almost just had a collision. That was Mark Berger, the referee. And into the ball game comes Ines Betancourt. And Lula Lopez Seneschal goes for a breather from UConn. You know, you talked about the expanded rotation that associate head coach Chris Daly's employed these last couple of games. There's real benefit to getting these younger players a lot of minutes, right?
Yeah, I think, you know, the starters play so many minutes. And she's just trying to get them, you know, a minute or two break whenever she can.
That's going to be an offensive foul on DeBerry, who basically walked through the screener. And that leads us to the media timeout halfway through quarter number 3. 55-20 UConn, but Aaliyah Edwards hurt, the headline. Huskies by a bunch halfway through quarter number 3 here in Cincinnati. Carry the 1, subtract that, and that looks to be a 35-point lead to me. And after a very slow start, UConn really got it going. Let's check in down under the UConn basket with Maria Marino.
Thanks, Alan. If you watched UConn's last game at Butler, you know Paige Beckers was there, but she traveled separately from the team and had to miss that morning's shoot-around. That's because she wanted to stay behind with Caroline Ducharme, who was injured the day before in practice. And that reminded me of back during the summer when Paige tore her ACL. After that, she told me that Caroline, as well as Aubrey Griffin, stayed on campus. They could have gone home, but they didn't because they didn't want Paige to be alone.
That is part of what makes this squad special, and you've seen it. The coaches have talked about it, both CD and Gino, through all the injuries and the ups and downs and absences and things, is the bond that these kids have formed.
It's a close-knit group, yeah.
They are a strong team, capital letters, team.
Great chemistry. Really are a special group of players.
Some of the numbers coming across the screen on UConn's dominance in this game so far. DeBerry is going to cause a travel there as Blackford will turn the ball over with an extra step after being cut off. Xavier averages almost 18 turnovers a game. They've only just committed their 7th of the night. Aubrey Griffin, no. And nice rebounding position there from Prenger for Xavier. But the shooting has been cold as ice for the Musketeers. That'll go off to Berry and stay in the hands of Xavier. I mean, Xavier is shooting 18% in the game, 8 of 44. And for Mel Moore, I mean, you don't know what to say. The ball's got to go through the basket, right?
Yeah, and they've gotten some good shots. You know, UConn, yeah, does disrupt you offensively with their defense, but you just got to keep competing, keep shooting, and so many of them have been that close.
Oh, nice quick pass from Betancourt to Mule to a running DeBerry, and DeBerry gets on the board. Baseline to baseline run for Amari DeBerry.
Yeah, these are important minutes for Amari DeBerry, especially with DePaul coming up on Sunday.
Yeah, Anissa Morrow, of course, the incredible post player for DePaul coming to Gamble Pavilion. That shot was deflected and blocked, and another empty possession for Xavier. And the bigs will be super important against Doug Bruno's team on Sunday at Gamble Pavilion. Nika Mule off the Juhas screen, and Juhas cutting right into the paint to fight for the rebound. That'll go off of Ines Betancourt, or will they call a foul on that? Going to call a foul. So that'll be a foul by and on the freshman. Here's our Take It to the Rim moment brought to you by Duncan. Amari DeBerry, that's her first Take It to the Rim spotlight, I believe.
Yeah, nice job running the floor by DeBerry. getting some words from CD.
And, you know, he talked about important moments for her. My observation, you're far more qualified to comment on this than me, as Anaya Harris shoots free throws. At times, the game has not slowed down enough for DeBerry, right? Things are happening a little quicker than she's reacting to. And being able to, is that a fair statement?
Yeah, I think it's fair. You know, Amari's a very talented player.
Yes.
And hasn't produced to the level of her talent consistently.
Look at Juhas, triple team, gets it knocked away. But opportunities here to grow.
Oh, absolutely.
To catch up to that game pace and sharpen the skills. Long range ball from outside by Keisha Woods for Xavier. That is just their third made three of this ball game. Third or second? Second made three on 18 attempts. That'll be turned over. And an empty possession for UConn. So DeBerry and Griffin will go to the bench, and Ayanna Patterson and Lou Lopez-Seneschal will come back in for UConn. DeBerry 9 minutes on the night. And again, got on the scoreboard with that nice end-to-end run. Skip pass, Harris. Caught up to by Mule. Here's Scarlett. Give and go, but ran right into Ayanna Patterson, who was there and read it and had the defensive position. Lopez-Seneschal sets the feet and drains the three.
Boy, that just changes your offense so much. You know, the defense is running back to get into the lane off of the break, and then when you have a three-pointer dropped, it's demoralizing to the defense.
13 for Lou. Here's Scarlett for three. Long rebound to Mule. She will be triple teamed briefly and will nicely reverse direction. Minute and 10 to go in this third quarter here in Cincinnati. As the UConn has outscored Xavier 13-8 in this third quarter. Long-range shot, short. Juhas couldn't pull the rebound in. Kind of had an exasperated look on her face when she came down without it. Here's Courtney Prenger, tries to spin on Juhas.
Really defended really well by Juhas.
Patterson down on the floor for the tied-up ball. That'll stay with Xavier on the alternating possession. Yes.
It's just so important on the defensive end to not leave your feet. It's been an emphasis in practice of late.
And for the bigger players to be sure you go straight up with the arms. That's one of those indicators referees look for that contact is coming. DeBerry back in
it's
for...
Nice. Yeah, it's nice DeBerry's back in the game to give Juhas a break.
Taking advantage of the end of the quarter break coming up to get Juhas an extra minute on the bench.
And it's good to get DeBerry more minutes out there. She didn't like the way that previous stint finished, and she wants to make up for it.
Smith throws it away, trying to find an uncovered Xavier player. Mule with a skip pass, a bounce pass rather, into Patterson. She'll get called for travel. Had trouble handling the pass.
Well, and you know, and yeah, Nika Mule was just tapping herself in the chest like it's my bad. That's not you can't put one of your post players running up the floor in that position with that pass. A little too fast, a little out of control. Wasn't a great pass.
17th turnover by UConn tonight, averaging about 17.5 on the season. And we're not yet to the fourth quarter. So for all that's gone right for UConn tonight, there'll be plenty to look at the film and say, hey, we can do this better. Final 30 seconds of the third quarter. Good cut inside from Ruiz. Excuse me, that wasn't Ruiz Asqui, that was Woods. And Blackford gets blocked as she tries to go up with it. 12 seconds.
Good help defense by DeBerry.
Important play there, no foul. Well done. 5 now, 4. Shot clock running out. Patterson will drive, kick, shot from the corner by Betancourt, and it goes for 3. And her teammates are thrilled for the freshman as she gets the buzzer beater from the corner.
That shows you a little bit about the way this team interacts with each other. Just gets it off before the double zeros.
Officials are checking to be sure.
Yeah, she got it off.
Ines Betancourt with her first from outside tonight for UConn. 63-24, Huskies by 39. Back in Cincinnati, 63-24, UConn leading Xavier after 3. Our game reset presented by your local New England Honda dealers. Dorka Juhas, 1 rebound away from her career high. Going back even through her time at Ohio State. Aubrey Griffin, phenomenal tonight. Nika Mule, 9 assists. But the story on the night so far for UConn, besides the positive scoreboard, is Aaliyah Edwards has not played in this second half after this in the first half.
Now we see this play. She seemed to come off limping on her right side as she walked away from that. But then you can see right here, flexing her foot. And then she's grabbing the top of her foot. She did have ice as she came out of the locker room from halftime.
And when she came out of the locker room, did not have her face mask, and UConn told us that she would not participate in the second half.
Now, again, we don't know if it was from that play that she ran into those chairs.
We'll find out post-game. I'm sure that that CD will get asked about it. Don't forget, you can hear Chris Daly's post-game press conference on the UConn women's basketball post-game show with Gary and Kara coming up after our game coverage tonight. But that'll certainly be something worth keeping an eye on for Aaliyah Edwards, who is first in the Big East and 12th in the nation in field goal percent, second on the team in scoring, and she's just been such a force for UConn. So we start the fourth. By the way, Betancourt's three-pointer at the end of the quarter was confirmed good by the officials after review. Here's Lopez Seneschal for 3. That's wide left, and she knew it when it left her hands and was chasing the rebound right away, but no one caught up to her. Well, for UConn, 3 players in double figures. Griffin with 19, Juhas with 16, Lopez Seneschal with 13. UConn has out-rebounded Xavier in this game 48-19.
Those are incredible numbers.
There's Katie Woods, throws up a 3 that goes around and out. Good rebounding position by Blackford, but she couldn't get the putback.
What a smart play by DeBerry to not commit the foul and then come up with the rebound.
DeBerry playing here with 3 fouls for UConn. Ayanna Patterson also has 3 fouls for the Huskies to begin this fourth quarter. Here's Betancourt. Picked up her dribble, needs help. Mule on the feed from DeBerry. Nice give and go. 9 assists, 5 points for Nika Mule tonight. That'll be a bucket for Nea Harris.
Nice flash to the high post. No blue jersey to defender.
Patterson has to stop. Give it to Betancourt. She'll take it all the way to the rim. No, too strong. Good rebound position there for Harris.
Think of how much better Betancourt has gotten since she was, you know, thrust into that Princeton game a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I completely agree. You could see, too, I mentioned, we're talking about the game slowing down. You think about Betancourt's journey here to Storrs with a nice feed inside to Patterson and good patience to get the bucket. Think about her journey. She was headed to Florida to go to junior college when Paige Beckers got injured. And Huskies had seen her at the Euro Championships. The phone call was made. She was diverted to Storrs without ever seeing campus. And then playing suddenly for UConn. Patterson can't get the tie-up. 10 to shoot for Xavier. That's going to be thrown off of Lopez Seneschal out of bounds.
You know, the key is to move without the basketball. How about Mule noticing her defender's not on her? What a great pass, too, from DeBerry. Good patience. Patterson felt the defender, paused long enough to get her in the air, and then scored.
Had to work hard to keep that pivot foot in place with the little contact there. So Juhas is back into the ball game. Lopez, Seneschal, Betancourt, Griffin. That shot will ricochet around. One to shoot. Never got anywhere close to the rim, and that's a time violation on Xavier and a turnover to UConn. I wonder if this is one of those game films that Mel Moore will look at with her team, or she'll just disregard it and, and burn it.
Well, this, you know, here's a nice steal by Blackford.
Oh, and a block. Patterson with the block.
How about the defense there and the hustle by Patterson?
Loses her goggles, her protective glasses. Out there playing without them. Steps out and tries to get the block on Ovalle. Rebound goes right to Blackford. And that is going to be called a tied-up ball, and it'll stay with Xavier. The whole play for a second while Ayanna Patterson gets those protective glasses that she wears. Looks like the strap is broken on them. And she will seek assistance.
And while the play was going on, Chris Daly had that board out and was drawing a play for Nika Mule. You know, even doesn't matter the score, taking this moment to teach her how to do things better.
Every moment of the season is an opportunity to get better. Long range shot goes for Taylor Smith. Let's check onto the UConn basket with Maria.
Thanks, Alan. I asked Ayanna Patterson if this season has been frustrating at times, and she said, of course, you want to do everything from the first game, but you're not going to score 20 every night. And it's been difficult to adjust going from her senior year in high school, being the go-to person, having all this success, to now having to sit back, watch, and learn how things are done at UConn. And she said it's her competitive nature that she aspires to do much more.
And she told all of that to you with a huge smile.
Yeah,
right,
she's
Maria?
a great kid.
Yeah, great attitude. And I think what Gino's told us about her, you know, that she's going to be a force for this team, or has the potential to be, is all still out there. Lopez Seneschal couldn't get that to go. Smith has to regroup.
It's generally harder for post players to make the adjustment from high school to college. It's more physical. The players are bigger and stronger than anything that they're used to.
You're used to being at the top of the pyramid as a senior in high school, and now there's other players with much more experience at this level than you. There's going to be a travel called on Betancourt on the attempt to get the pass out. Ines Betancourt, 17 minutes on the court tonight. 18 is her season and career high for the freshman, so going to top that with still 5.5 to go in this fourth quarter at Cincinnati. Baldwin from the corner for Smith. Only Xavier player in double figures in this ball game, Taylor Smith. She's got 13. Juhas for three, yes. That's two. Had a toe on the line, okay. Here's Scarlett. UConn has done a terrific job of shutting Xavier's leading scorer down tonight. That shot is well short from Prenger. And another rebound for the Huskies. Michaela Scarlett, leading scorer for Xavier, has 4 points on 1 of 10 shooting in this ball game. Here's Betancourt. Too strong. Griffin with the rebound. DeBerry to Lopez Seneschal.
Amari DeBerry can be a really good passer. She puts that ball up ahead her 6'4" frame.
she's got a nice touch.
And good vision.
Aubrey Griffin on the floor again. Which gets us to a timeout. Mascot's doing its best to keep the energy up for the Xavier team, but man, look at that scoreboard. (71-32) Huskies with just over 4 to go. Let's check with Maria.
Thanks. Sometimes we can forget that 5 of these UConn players are from halfway around the world and don't get much time to see family. Nika Mule, who's from Croatia, said, "It made my month, made my whole year," when her little sister Hannah, who plays at Ball State in Indiana, came to the Butler game, and Nika feels a little spoiled. Hannah also went to the Notre Dame game, but she said it was just really nice to see her.
It's hard to comprehend sometimes the journey that some of these kids go through to play college basketball, particularly the kids from overseas. But for Nika, it's so nice to have her that moment with her sister.
It means everything. And Nika, we've talked so much about being the heart and soul of this UConn team. I mean, she's just such a great kid, and you would think people would be more aware of how important that bond is and connection when people weren't able to see families during the pandemic.
And even during the Christmas break this year, a lot of the overseas players couldn't make it home and back with the short break that the schedule afforded. With 1 on the shot clock, Shelby Calhoun hoists one up from way outside. Rebound goes to Xavier, and they'll get another shot. Here is Calhoun again. Shot clock quickly back down to single digits. Scarlett steps away from UConn. Shot misses everything. That'll be a time violation created by the UConn defense. Well, talked about the international flavor to this roster. Everywhere from north of the border in Canada to São Miguel, Portugal. Places far and wide.
It's incredible just how diverse this team is, and it's a lot of fun to be around them, too.
There's Juhas from Pech, Hungary, who draw the foul. And you think about mixing and melding all of those different cultures, languages, basketball cultures into a unit as close and as tight as this team is.
It's a testament to Chris Daly and this coaching staff. Because Chris, has been known for all the games that she plays with the kids, not only on the recruiting trips, but throughout the course of the year. They're all team building and ways to make you closer.
Ways to make you closer, right? AZ Fudd has taken it to try and learn bits of each player's on the team's language, right? As Juhas missed that free throw, but Patterson got there and gets fouled in the contact. So Juhas and Fudd was trying to learn some words in Hungarian from Juhas, and I'm sure there's a little Portuguese in there now and some French, and that's just being a great teammate.
Absolutely. All kinds of different food that they have to try now.
Shot clock at 10. There's Ines Betancourt, strong on the 3. Nice reaching rebound by Anaya Harris for Xavier. Been 2.5 minutes since the Musketeers have scored. That kind of night for the home squad. There's Calhoun into the corner for Woods. Left hand turnaround skyhook from Megan Harkey.
The 6'6" junior. Wow.
From the Greensboro area in North Carolina, gets on the board tonight for Xavier. Amari DeBerry back at the scorer's table waiting to check in for UConn. That's going to be an extra step before she dribbled. And a turnover by Griffin. Gary Apple and Carol Walters standing by back in New York for a full recap of tonight's game. Plus, you'll get to hear Chris Daly's post-game news conference. The UConn women's basketball post-game show is presented by your local New England Honda dealers. It's coming up. Where do you start with this one? Well, I think you start with Aubrey Griffin and Dorky Juhas. And, of course, talk a little Aaliyah Edwards, too. The journey continues for this 22-23 version of UConn women's basketball. Keisha Woods for 3 and got it. 5 for 25 from long range tonight for Xavier. Team that shoots normally this season 36% from outside. Under a minute and a half to go in the ball game. Going to be a whistle and a foul inside. That is going to be on Harkey, 31. So this long stretch of games here on SNY continues with the home game against DePaul. Then we go to St. John's on Wednesday at UBS Arena, the Islanders' new arena at Belmont Park. 24th ranked Red Storm. That's going to be a turnover. Betancourt traveled. Joe Tartamella's team losing last night for the first time this season, as Seton Hall got him in that one, 72-51. So Seton Hall now moves to second in the Big East standings, as Betancourt will get the bucket to go with the effort.
Terrific anticipation there by Betancourt.
Betancourt with a new season high in points tonight. Spin by Woods inside. No, missed everything. And Nika Mule will slow it down as we're inside of a minute to go in the ball game. Ball knocked away from
you can't keep it down. You got to keep it above your head.
30 seconds to go. Woods from long range, no. Rebound will go to Mule, who again will slow it down. So what's your takeaway going to be from this 73-37 performance by the Huskies?
I thought it was a good effort. They didn't start strong. It's second game on the road. They want to get home. They've been on the road since Monday. But I thought really good effort. Had some terrific rebounding. They had a lot of different looks out there. They didn't shoot the ball well to start, but I like how they just stayed with it. I thought, it's a good win on the road, and they held a team to 37 points. Outstanding defense. And
an opportunity for a lot of young players to get a lot of minutes in game experience as well tonight. Dorka Juhas. A look at Dorka, our player of the game tonight, presented by CSCU. There it is, the numbers on Juhas with 18 points, 17 rebounds, and 4 blocks. How about that? Nice night tonight for Juhas, leading the way for UConn. Well, Huskies led by as many as 41 in this one. And they come away with a 73-37 victory, outscoring Xavier 19-5 in the first quarter, to open a margin that would never relent. And Maria Marino is with Associate Head Coach Chris Daly.
Chris, I want to just start with Aaliyah Edwards because she's been so important to your team. What can you tell us about how she's doing and how you guys continue to deal with these injuries?
She tweaked her ankle a little bit when she went over and made the hustle play in the chair, so just wasn't in the cards for her to play second half. We were up by a lot, so hopefully it's just a little bit of a tweak, and we'll know more tomorrow.
Meanwhile, Dorka Juhas and Aubrey Griffin continue to do what they do. How important have they been for your team?
Well, I think they did a great job with giving us second and third opportunities, but we just have to take care of the ball. The turnovers are going to kill us, and that's a real big concern.
DePaul up next. What do you want to continue to stress to your team ahead of that one?
I want to get through the rest of this. I'll worry about DePaul after that. I just get home from this trip.
Fair enough. Congrats on the win, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chris Daly still undefeated. Subbing for Gino Auriemma when heading the UConn program. Now 17-0. Dorka Juhas, player of the game, leading the way for UConn in a big win in Cincinnati tonight.